Good afternoon, students. Today we will discuss the rest three main features of the Indian Constitution. The first two main features were the first feature of the Indian Constitution was federalism. Okay, it means that there are three levels of government in India. Second feature was parliamentary form of government. Now we will discuss with the third feature, that is separation of powers. Okay. Now this separation of power means that there are three organs of state. Now before I go further, I want to tell you one thing, that this word state will come time and again in your civics book. Okay. Whenever this word state is used in political terms, now, what is meaning of this word state? Okay. In political terms, we call country as a state, means India is a state, Nepal is a state, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, China, all of them, they are state, USA, Russia, they are state in political terms. Okay. Country we use in general language, but in political language we call it state. And states of the country, like if we talk about states of our country, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, etc., all of them, they are called either units of federation or units of state in political terms. Okay, so in political terms, country is a state and various parts of that country means like we say various states of the country, they are called units of federation, or we can call units of state. Okay, so the third feature, separation of powers. Now in separation of powers, what the constitution has done, it has divided power into three organs of the state. Three organs of the state are there. What is that? Legislature, executive, and judiciary. Okay, three organs are there: legislature, executive, and judiciary. Legislature means that organ which makes the laws. Okay, like parliament, it makes the laws for the country, for the state, so it comes under legislature. Most of the members of legislature, they are elected either all the members of legislature, they are elected either by the people of the citizens of the country or by the elected representatives. How? That we will do in separate chapter. Okay, some members of parliament, they are elected by people and some are elected by the MPs of different states. Okay, so legislature is an elected body. Executive, it is part of legislature, means the members are the part of legislature. Okay, legislature makes laws, executive implements laws in the country. Okay, third is judiciary. Judiciary involves all the system of courts. Okay, so three parts are there: legislature, executive, and judiciary. Okay, so legislature refers to our elected representatives. Executive is a smaller group of people who are responsible for implementing laws and running the government. So we say, like legislature are there from Lok Sabha, and the members of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, they make legislature. Okay, the members, Modi and all his ministers, they form executive now. Okay, now because executive, if we talk about the government of nowadays, so I can give example that Modi and his ministers, they are part of executive. We call it as government in common language. Okay, then judiciary, I have already told you, it means all the courts in the country. Okay, we'll learn about all of them, how they work and everything about them in further chapters. Okay, now the power has been divided in these three organs. They have been told that this area is your working area. This work this organ will do that work, the other organ will do. Okay, and so it means that they don't interfere in each other's work, but they also act as a check on other organs of the state. Means legislature, executive and judiciary, all three of them, they will keep a check on each other's work, and thus it maintains the balance of power between all three. Okay, this was the third feature of constitution. Next feature of constitution is fundamental rights. Okay, fundamental means basic, the basic rights of every human being. The fundamental rights in our constitution, they are also known as conscience of the Indian constitution. Conscience means the real thinking, atma, the soul of the constitution. Okay, now we know Britishers ruled over India, so Indians were not given any rights. So the constitution makers, they wanted to give those rights, many rights to some rights to the citizens of India. Okay, and they wanted that thing to be written so that the government does not misuse its power. Okay, so fundamental rights therefore protect citizens against arbitrary and absolute exercise of power by the state. If the state means if the country, the political institution of the country, it tries to take away the rights of the citizen, or it tries to work in a manner which is not good for the people. Okay, so to protect against that kind of behavior of the state, fundamental rights have been written in the constitution. Okay, so the constitution guarantees the rights of individual against the state as well as other individuals. Means these fundamental rights are for us. Okay, and they cannot be taken by anyone in at all, or even the government cannot take away our fundamental rights until and unless there is some kind of emergency in the country. Okay, so there are actually 7 fundamental rights given in the Indian constitution. Actually, if you check anywhere on internet, you will find out that there are 6. Why 7th right is not given, I'll tell you afterwards. First is the right to equality. Right to equality means that everyone is equal before the law, and you will be given opportunities equally. Okay, it means that all persons are equally protected. Every person is equal before the law. Nobody will be discriminated at all, and every citizen will be equally protected by the law. This we read last year also, that what is equality in the constitution. Okay, so nobody can be denied any an entrance to the public places. Okay, certain exceptions are there. Just try to read the rights defined in your book. Okay, second is a right to freedom. Now in right to freedom, there are many rights. There are many sub rights in the freedom, like right to freedom of speech and expression, right to form associations, a right to move freely and reside in any part of country, right to practice any profession, occupation or business. So many freedoms have been given to us. Okay, then next is right against exploitation. Means, you remember one thing, this is a right against, others are right to, this is right against, means nobody can exploit you. Okay, maybe you can't be exploited at your office, you can't be exploited wherever you live. Okay, any government, any person, any organization cannot exploit you. Okay, so this is right against exploitation, and under right against exploitation, two, 3 things have been banned. Trafficking of human beings, means kidnapping human being from one place and selling it at some other place to do any kind of work. Then forced labor, that is called bond labor also. Okay, this was something like slavery. This has been banned, and children working under the 14 years of age, this has also been banned under right against exploitation. Okay, then next is a right to Freedom of religion means you have all the freedom. You can adopt any religion, you can profess any religion, you can try to propagate, means religion ko phailana. You can propagate any type of religion and nobody at all can take this freedom away from you. Okay, it means like if I am born in one particular religion and I want to change my religion afterwards, so even my parents can't force me not to change my religion. Okay, so this is right to freedom of religion, means you can adopt any religion, and if at some point you want to change your religion, you can do that also. Okay, next is cultural and educational rights. Actually this right is right for minorities only, minority communities of the country, maybe minorities of religion, minorities of culture or language. Okay, sometimes this is also called right to minorities, but politically this term in constitution is written as cultural and educational rights. Okay, so under this right, any minority, maybe minority of religion, language or culture, they are allowed to make their own educational institutions to promote their culture. Okay, like you studied in a convent school, so that school has been made under which right? Cultural and educational rights. 6 is the right to constitutional remedies. It means that if any of your fundamental right has been taken away from you, maybe by some person, maybe by some organization, or maybe by the government itself, then you can approach the Supreme Court under this right to constitutional remedies, and the Supreme Court will try to restore your fundamental rights to you. Okay, now the last one, right to education. This is actually a fundamental right only for children between 6 to 14 years of age. It is not for adults. This right is only for children between 6 to 14 years of age. So please add this right in your somewhere. Those who have books, they can write it there, and others can make this note somewhere else, that this under this right, the state will provide free and compulsory education to all children between 6 to 14 years of age. Means like those children who are poor, they get free education and in the government schools. So this comes under the right to education. Okay, so these are the various rights. Read them from your books. Okay, now some of these rights, like right to culture and education, that comes under that is for the minorities. Right to culture and educational rights. Okay, so actually such rights, that right was one of the point which was specified most by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the father of Indian Constitution. Why? Because he wanted that minorities should be given certain guarantee by the Constitution that these rights have been given to you, you can progress in your life. Okay, now Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has said one important thing about fundamental rights, that the objective of fundamental rights is twofold. Means there are two objectives, two parts of the fundamental rights. First objective is that every citizen should be able to claim their fundamental rights. Okay, second objective is that these rights must be binding upon every authority that has got the power to make laws. Means it is the duty of the government, whether central government, state government or local government, it is their duty to see that they have to make those laws under which these rights are given to the citizens. Okay, now in addition to this, there is another important thing, that is the directive principles of state policy. Okay, these are actually guidelines for the government to make laws for these fundamental rights, and to see that the fundamental rights are given to the people, to see that social economic reforms are brought in the country and poverty is reduced. Okay, now comes the last part of the main features and even the last part of your chapter, that is the fifth feature, secularism. Now what is this secularism? The secularism means separation between state and religion. What does it mean? You can even write it because only one line is given in your book. It means that state will not promote any religion. Means the country, the government cannot promote that. Like in our country, the majority is of Hinduism, so the government cannot promote Hinduism or any other religion at all. Okay, it means the state, the country has no religion of its own. Okay, and it will not force a certain religion on anyone. It cannot force one religion that you have to follow this religion. It cannot force a religion on anyone at all, and it will provide freedom of religion. Sorry, I had written freedom to religion. It should be freedom of religion. So it will provide freedom of religion to its citizens, that they are totally free to adopt and profess any religion. Okay, actually these things, many of these things we'll discuss as full chapters in further the coming chapters of civics. Okay, till now whatever we have discussed, read the chapter, make your small notes here and there. Okay, and we'll be sending you one worksheet. Try to find out the answers after reading the chapter, after understanding the chapter. Okay, and you have to do those answers in your notebooks where you are doing your question answers. Okay, you'll give the heading worksheet of this chapter. Thank you.